The Climate Change Symposium hosted by SIMAD University in Mogadishu addressed the growing impact of climate change on Somalia. As extreme weather events became more frequently, the country's future is at risk. Attendees listened closely as experts emphasized the need to immediate actions. George Conway, the UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator for Somalia, highlighted the devastating effects on climate changes in his opening remarks.
2023 started with the accumulation of the worst drought that the country has seen in over half a century, that impacted on millions and millions of people, thrusting them into high levels of crisis, food insecurity, and ended the year with the worst flooding in 100 years. Humanitarian responses are important to save lives, but if we're not making the investment in adaptation, in resilience building, the levels of chronic vulnerability and risk will continue to rise for the country.
Conway stressed that Somalia's climate crisis is also a crisis of human rights.
Addressing the climate crisis for what it is, which is a crisis of human rights, of the right to life, of the right to food, the right to health, the right to water, and the right to sanitation. And we need to put human rights very much at the center of the discussion and the discourse and the work that we do for Somalia on the climate agenda.
Droughts and floods have ravaged Somalia, disseminating agriculture and displacing community. The State Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Ahmed Omar Mohamed, calls for immediate collective action.
isbeddelka cimiladu in isbeddelka cimiladu aanu ahayn khatar fog waa caqabad taagan oo ay tahay inaan si foolka foola u wajahno si wada jira iyadoo loo marayo aragti wadaag iskaashi iyo go'aan qaadasho cilmi ku salaysan taasoo sababi doonta xalinta caqabadaha in hor yaala iyo abuurista fursado Soomaaliya cagaara.
Climate activists like Sucdi Nor are pushing for more attention to the impact on agriculture, especially for vulnerable communities.
A lot of the people employed in the agriculture sector face problems because they no longer have source of income, so their purchasing power also goes down.
The youth are also actively engaging in climate initiatives.
wasaaraddu waxa farxad waa iyaduna inay qayb ama door weyn ku lahayd waxna ka qaban qaabisay gruubyo dhalinyaro Soomaaliyeed isu tagay ama civil society organizations Soomaaliya marka ugu horeysay ku qabtay shirka la yiraahdo shirar aadka ugu muhiimka ah dhalinyarada.
At the symposium, climate experts said several recommendations for Somalia's future.
We recommended a number of recommendations, and including that the adaptation strategies or intervention should be right-spaced approach, and also it should lead by the local communities. It has to be local-led adaptation. Also, we also recommended that Somalia to innovate new mechanisms of attracting climate finance to fund our national adaptation programs.
The symposium concluded with a call of action emphasizing the need of collective efforts in addressing the immediate threat of climate change and building resilience in Somalia.